How we doing? So I want to get on here and do a quick update. Something just came across my desk regarding Measure 114, and this is at the federal level. So this is coming out of the Ninth Circuit, and so I put the information into the group. You can see it. You can read it for yourself. It's a stay, and so what that means is basically they're basically punting the football down the field. They're going to wait until they're going to decide the Bonta Duncan v. Bonta ruling, and then they will actually weigh in on the constitutionality of Measure 114, which, so this is not a huge update. This is just them basically legal maneuvering, pushing everything out until other rulings are decided. And what this does is this doesn't move us any closer to implementation. So, rest assured everything is okay. And this is just a formality. This is what they're doing. I would love to see it just get totally destroyed, but it's just going to be pushed out so they can rule. So I just want to get on here, do a quick update for you guys. I hope everybody's doing well. If you guys can see this, please let me know. And so, that's everything's kind of been quiet. And so, there's not a lot to focus on. And so I've been doing other stuff, and I hope everybody else has been doing other stuff. And so it's tis the season, right? So it's end of the year. And hey, Sean, how you doing, buddy? And so it's just lots of behind the scenes work, and nothing that's really too pressing, fortunately for us. Obviously, from what you're seeing from Lift Every Voice Oregon, they're still pretty active, and they're, oh my goodness. Oh, give me 1 second. I need to fix things. Give me 1 second. Let me update this. And let's see if it worked. I was on the wrong Facebook page, so I apologize. I wonder, like, nobody was tuning in. And so let's see if it's working. So if you guys can see me, give me just 1 second. I'm haven't done this in a little bit, and so I'm just getting spun up again. And let's kind of where we're at. See if it'll let me do it. Oh, there we are. Perfect. So we're working the way we should work. Okay. So, thank you for tuning in, Sean. I appreciate it. I'm just kind of getting in my, what I want to talk about, out. And so, a couple of things we got working for us is obviously this has been delayed. It's been pushed out. There's going to be other rulings that are going to come out first. And so this is, going to be really, really good, for us for the time being, because what this does, this delays any kind of, implementation. There's, no enforcement there. And so that's why, I wanted to, hop on here and kind of, get you guys up to speed, and I put in here it's a Google Doc. Basically, it's the stay that came out of the Ninth Circuit. It's pretty short and sweet. It basically says, we're basically not going to do anything until this other ruling, which is we've been waiting for over a year now for this Duncan v. Bonta. And so, you know, thanks for tuning in, guys. I appreciate it. So, that's where, so I wish this ruling would come out. There's a lot of cases around the country that are waiting for this ruling, and obviously Oregon's going to be another case that's going to be waiting on this, and so that's where, I guess no news is good news, kind of, because this doesn't change where we're at currently today. There's no enforcement when it comes to Measure 114. And so that's still not the law. It's, we have the permanent injunction in place now out of Harney County. So there's nothing that's changed. And so we're in good shape. Obviously we're preparing for the appeal on both ends. We have the federal trial, which, the stuff that I'm citing here, this is related to the federal trial. And so, it's basically they're still going to be, racking up bills. So we're still going to have to help out with the fundraising when it comes to the federal case. but we're also going to have to help out in Harney County as well because they're gearing up for an appeal there. And as soon as I hear more, I'll let you guys know what that looks like so we can get involved. And so I appreciate you, Jim, for tuning in. Thanks for tuning in. I haven't been doing these as often. I've got a lot going on, and so I'm just trying to focus on the stuff that I need to focus on to make sure that I'm successful and for next year when it comes to my organization. And so there's just a lot of stuff that's going to affect there, and it's gonna I'm gonna have to make a choice very soon, and so that's kind of where I'm at. So I'm trying to focus on what I need to focus on and keep moving forward, and because that's my goals. I'm going to move forward. I hope everybody moves forward as well. And we have things to look out for. Obviously, the what's going on with Harney County, the appeal, the Oregon DOJ. She does not enjoy losing, and she's doing everything she can. I do have the FOIA request out. The problem I have with the FOIA request is last time I wrote a check for $48, they did not give me all the information I requested. So I'm kind of leery about dropping another $120 on this. I guess if they could guarantee they're going to give me all the information that I requested, then I'd see it was a good investment of my money. Other than that, I don't know. I might reach out and try some other avenues. I've got some good information that came across my email, and I'm going to see what I can use if I can use that to my advantage. And so, ultimately, you guys, we just got to make sure that we understand that nothing's changed. Measure 114 is still dead in the trash can for now. Obviously, Lift Every Voice is doing everything that they can to keep this thing alive. They're using letters to the editor, so we should be writing letters to the editor. I'm surprised that mine was actually aired or published. So that was awesome. And this is stuff that we could all do. We can all submit letters to the editor, and I highly encourage it because what the other side's doing is they're using the media kind of as their surrogate to put out this information. It's not based on any factual information. It's all emotion. It's all fear based. The data is all lies. So it's all garbage. And so that's what's really really important to know is we can use that to our advantage as well because we can do the same thing. It's just you got to just take the time. And people have been quiet here. I've been quiet here. It's been nice to kind of have some room to breathe, and but one thing I'm afraid of is just that apathy and that complacency creeping back in, and we're going to be sitting on our hands, and we're going to go through this stuff again, and we're not going to learn from the situation. And so that's kind of my biggest fear out of this deal is the fact that we'll get comfortable, nothing's happening, and so we'll just kind of check out, and then we'll be in this position again. I mean, from the email that I submitted, was it the day before, I believe, that came from Lift Every Voice Oregon, is in the way I copied and paste the text, you didn't get to see the email. I really encourage you to go sign up for their email blast. You can go to Lift Every Voice Oregon, sign up for the email blast. That way you'll get their updates as soon as they send them. You'll see what they're planning. And so with that one, they're already planning for 2024. There was a mention of 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 the 2024, and so I'm not sure if they're going to try the legislature or if they're going to try with another ballot initiative. That wasn't totally clear, and so we should be watching. We should be watching what they're doing. Because they feel like they were wronged. They put all this effort in here, and they sold this fake bill of goods, and they got lit on it. And so I'm hoping that this will be enough to where it'll be a rally call for us where we're going to get involved and not let that happen again. Hopefully we'll show up and vote when it's time to vote, and we'll make sure that our voices be heard. And I'm hoping that we don't go through this again. I know we will, because it's what we do here in Oregon. And so yeah, Sean. So mine was letter to the editor. It was in the Oregonian. I mean, you could focus on, the sportsman, or the Salem, was it the Statesman Journal? I believe it's in Salem. You could try that one. You can try your local newspaper. The problem is I put the one in the Oregonian because that's the one that Lift Every Voice always uses, and so they put out their side, so I wanted to have our side, and so that's where. And then they came back, and the guy that came back was he just totally didn't understand what well regulated meant, and in the context of our Second Amendment rights, regulated meant able-bodied and properly equipped. That's the context of well regulated when it comes to our Second Amendment rights. And they can. I'm glad they didn't talk about keep and bear, right? Because that's another one. Keep means have, bear means carry. That's like the most basic way I could break it down to you guys in the historical context of the Second Amendment. And so that's where I'm under. We just got to be up to date and get involved. I mean, so let me catch up on my thing. Yeah, I mean, Tim, Timothy. Yeah, I mean, they're not going to stop. I mean, they think that they were entitled to win, and so that doesn't mean. I mean, they had the courts, they had the media, they had politicians, they had everything in their favor, and they lost. They had 8 attorneys, they had, up to 40 support staff. They lost, okay? And they don't take that, lying down, okay? So, that's what's really important is they're going to come back, they're going to do something ugly, and we just have to be prepared for it. And so, you know, that's what it looks like. Well, safe till 2024, like 2024 is like a week and a half away. You know what I mean? So, this stuff it builds momentum, right? It takes time. It's like what I've always said is it's like getting the Titanic to take a 90-degree turn at 60 miles an hour. It doesn't happen overnight, and so, that's kind of an apathetic way to look at things is we have to show up and vote. We got to have people that can run. We have to have people that we can elect that can stop this stuff. I mean, we're close in the Senate. We're also close in the House to making sure that we could totally nullify everything up there if we'll show up and vote when it's time to vote. And I mean, it's literally. I think we need 2 or 3 seats in the Senate and maybe 5 in the House. Like it's within striking distance. So all of us have to show up and vote, and so, if we can show up and vote and we can get some wins and hold the line where it's at currently, we're going to be in a lot better shape. And so that's where, we can get if we can get one chamber. I mean, if we can shut down one chamber, I mean, that's going to put us in better better shape. Yeah. Yeah, obviously, yeah. 100% Kyle. But one thing to think about what I guess where I was going with my thought, Kyle, is I don't want to wait till November, right? I want to be active now. I want to be thinking about, what can I do to increase my and better my position now as I'm waiting for November, because this can be a total S show. I guarantee it. I saw something. I don't know if I should share this or not, or I can. But anyways, there's a group of Oregonians, and I don't know if you're for Trump or against Trump. The whole point of it is there's a group that are trying to keep Trump off the ballot in 2024 in Oregon. And so, like, that's how afraid they are of Trump, which you can say what you want. The thing is, he's better than the alternative, which is what we have right now. And so, but the whole point of this, they want to totally basically take away our ability to choose who we want to vote for in 2024 because they're that fearful. So just be aware. There's so much stuff that's happening behind the scenes that could impact your gun rights going forward into 2024. And so, just we can't sleep on this stuff. 100% right here. This right here, Matt, thank you so much for this comment right here. So one thing that we do really poorly here is we always think that there's that perfect candidate, and we're not going to vote unless we get that perfect candidate. Our perfect candidate didn't get on the ballot, so we're going to stay home. That's the wrong way to think about this stuff, okay? The way we should be looking at this stuff is there's a candidate that we love, right? But there's also a candidate that can win. And so we need to put our egos aside, our righteousness aside, and we have to vote for the betterment of our state. So if that means we have to, if this guy isn't 100% your favorite, but he's 75%, check that box. It's we continue to lose because there's no such thing as a perfect candidate, and it's impossible. There's gonna have somebody out there that's gonna it's gonna be 70% of what you need in a candidate, and you're not gonna vote for them because you wanted that person that's 100%. And we got to change that thought process. That's why we continue to lose. And so that's all I'll say there. It's just that was a great comment, Matt. I think I appreciate that. And I'm not familiar with Colorado. I have friends there, but I haven't kept up to date there. And oh, mhm. Yeah, I mean that's kind of where we're at here in Oregon, and that's what they're trying to do. And I don't know how legal that is, and I don't know, like, the whole thing's a mess. And the whole two-party system is broken. Our policy, I mean, it's just bad. And but what I see, because I pay attention to this stuff because this really impacts everything that I do, is the fact that the left is so desperate to keep control because they know that if they lose control, it's done. They're done. Their policies are that bad. And so that's what gives me hope that good people are going to come forward. One that we really want to focus on is Will Lathrop. He's running for attorney general. He's one that we really need to get elected, and we need to work really, really hard as a group to make sure that we can get him. He's a pro family guy. And so, that's where we need to figure out how we can utilize this platform that we have here in the group to make sure that we're educating people. Say we need people to show up and vote. We can't afford to have another. And the guy that he's running up against he's the Senate president, which I forget his name, but I mean, it's just like another Ellen Rosenbaum. And so we have to make sure that we have to be smarter. We have to fight a little bit smarter. And I feel that with some little tweaks, and if we can focus on things that we need to focus on, we could be in good shape. And I'm definitely I'm not out of this fight, and none of us are out of this fight right now. It's just we just got to make sure that we stay up to date, and we just don't check out. I know it's easy to check out because it's slow, and there's other stuff we got family time that's coming up with the holidays, and I want you guys all enjoy your holidays. But it's just something that it's about that time. We have the legislature's going to start back up at the beginning of February. That's going to be a short session. We could have 30 some days in that session. And I've been promised that there's not going to be any gun bills, which gives me hope. But, I'm still going to watch them like a chicken hawk. Um, yeah, I'm not familiar with Charlie. Yeah, whoever, like, if these are your reps or your senators, and you have stories about them, and they're up for reelection, put it here. We need to know. We need to keep this stuff in front of us, and we've got to figure out a way that we can use messaging. Maybe that's where we use the letters to the editor. Maybe we air that stuff in the letters of the editor. Maybe that's an effective way for us to reach those in the middle, because we need people in the middle. We don't have the numbers. And there's enough people that I think that are going to be unhappy with what happened with Measure 114, some other bills that were very, very unpopular, that really we could make some gains. And so, but we have to make sure that we do our part, and that's showing up. I mean, I can't stress that enough. So Hope you guys are doing well. I've been trying to keep it all together. Got a lot going on. Um, so that's kind of where I'm at, you know. Let's look at that one. I think that's probably Kyle. Yeah, absolutely. They're hoping and banking. We'll see. You know, I would bet on us. It's whether or not we can get the Oregon Republican Party to play ball with us or not. Because they haven't won an election in 30 years, so they kind of need us. And so let's hope that they, need help. And they can work with us. So, hey, Cody. Oh my goodness. So we're exporting wolves to Colorado. Perfect. What's the worst that could happen there? And so, hopefully they have enough magazine capacity, Cody, to stop those wolves when they're attacked. I mean, so yeah, it's the whole debate on the wolves. I mean, they just need to be regulated. They need to be managed like every other game. And so you're here. Hey, Greg. You didn't miss much. We're just talking about, the federal trial. There was a stay that was just announced in the Ninth Circuit. So basically what they're going to do is they're going to put Measure 114 behind the Duncan Bonta ruling. And so we have to wait and figure out what happens there. So I would hope they would hurry up and get with that ruling, because there's a lot that are waiting on on that ruling. So, oh sweet, Cody. Let's I'm a big fan of my 30 rounders. So technically, like if I'm hunting, I have to have a 5-round magazine. How does that work with wolf self-defense? I mean, am I able to put a 30-round magazine in there, or do I have to still, run a 5-round magazine, because technically I would be hunting? And obviously this is not legal advice. So um but I'm just wondering. Inquiring minds want to know. So I'm a big fan of the 30 round magazine, and it's should be mandatory. But I can see how, for hunting, we don't need a 30 round magazine. But in the context of things, Measure 114 wasn't about hunting. Measure 114 was about our lawful right to self defense. And so magazine capacity should not be part of that consideration. And I feel that we're in a good spot, and I feel that it takes time, and we'll just hopefully we'll just get the rulings that we need, and everything's going to go the way it needs to go. Okay, cool. Yeah, so this is not legal advice, but obviously I was talking hypothetically. If I was hunting, I couldn't put a 30 round magazine for wolf self defense, but if it's a handgun, I would see that would make sense. Most people, I'm sure, would carry a handgun or some sort of sidearm when they're out there in the middle of nowhere. So, how's the weather? I bet the weather's cold over there. So, I hope everything's going well for you and your county, Cody. Um, happy, Merry Christmas to everybody. I don't know how often I'm going to do these videos anymore. I'm kind of they've ran their course, and I don't know what to do anymore. I'm kind of at a crossroads, I guess. So, we'll see how it goes. So, other than that, does anybody have anything else they want to talk about, or should I just close this out? Yeah, so just know that Measure 114, nothing's changed. Cold and wintry. Yeah, Merry Christmas. Yep. So be safe out there. Be safe on the road. I just got word today that I lost a friend that I grew up in a car accident a couple days ago. So, it's tis the season. So be careful out there. So yeah, Merry Christmas, Greg. Thank you guys. You guys have a great holiday. Um, yeah, I know. I just Yeah, Merry Christmas, Brian. So, yeah, I gotta figure out. I gotta evaluate my time and my resources. My resources are what they are. I'm going into contract negotiation with all my sponsors. So I spent a majority of my last couple weeks doing all that, and it's not fun. And I look forward to getting to Vegas in a couple weeks and or about a month, actually a month from now, and just putting it all together, getting stuff signed, and so I can sleep again. So it's just never ending. But that's kind of where I'm at. So yeah, Merry Christmas to everybody. And but just know nothing's changed with Measure 114. It's just still in the appeals. And we're just hoping that we get the ruling that we need in the appellate court where it prevents it from going. I've heard it could go either way. It could go automatically to the Oregon Supreme Court, because I feel that it's being influenced by, the attorney general, which I think is a really an injustice there, because the scales of justice are no longer blind. And so she's trying to influence this stuff. And I feel that that's not right. And she should have to recuse herself in this situation. And the fact that she's using state resources to go after this and push this when what the judge in Harney County, the way he ruled, it was pretty self-evident that Measure 114 was unconstitutional. And so that's why I feel that this is not a good use of our resources here in the state of Oregon. I also feel that it's a very partisan issue. I feel that her hyper partisanship with this deal has really made her judgment, skewed. Where she's obsessed with this stuff. We can look back in the last legislative session where we were up in Salem. She actually came into the building, sat right behind me and a few other people when they were talking, 2005. So the fact of the matter is she's very partisan, and her position, it really should be an apolitical position. It should be nonpartisan. And so the fact that she can use her, the resources at her disposal to come after us and take away our rights and use our money against us, that's dirty. So, that's kind of where I'm at, and I'm sure a lot other people would feel the same way, and we just got to make sure that we got to show up and vote. We wouldn't be in this position if we would have showed up last year and voted. You know, there was a lot of us that stayed home. I don't know if they just couldn't get to the ballot box or whatnot, but 150,000 voters that stayed home. That could have saved us a lot in this situation. And we could have a new governor. We could have had Measure 114 would have been in the rear view. They would have been coming with something else. My fear with what they just did, they have the resources, they have the network. They're going to come after the semi-automatic rifle next. That's my thought. If that's the way my gut tells me. Just because of you look at what's happening around the country, the modern sporting rifles under attack, right? And this is something that's kind of a galvanizing issue, right? Where they can bring their supporters together, and then they can go after our rifles, and there's really no data that supports that our rifles are any more dangerous than hammers or a crowbar or fentanyl for one. Fentanyl is more dangerous than any firearm that we have. So I think we're doing something just to do something, and it's not the right thing to do. And so that's my thing. So yeah, thanks for tuning in, Jim. I appreciate you. And I hope you guys, everybody that helped out with my little fundraiser. I haven't done a video since then. It ended on the 5th, and so we did good. So I appreciate everybody that stepped up and helped with my fundraiser for the Kids Safe Foundation. So I want to thank everybody that helped and contributed to that. That was great. We didn't reach our goal, but it is what it is. I mean, I know it's tough out there for a lot of people, and so I'm thankful that I got the support that I did. And so your investment is investment in the next generation. So I appreciate that. So other than that, I'm going to get off here. You guys have a great day. Merry Christmas. And I'll catch up with you maybe next week. Maybe I'll do one a week, and we'll just touch base and talk. But enjoy your time with your family. I hope you guys get some new guns, get out and shoot, exercise those rights, support those small shops, buy those magazines. Here we go. I don't know what to tell you. Like maybe they're out of fuel, maybe the transmission in the truck went out. I don't know. I'm just saying. Yeah, 100% Willie. I mean, you said it perfectly. I mean, I tried to make light of the situation that we decided not to get involved, and now that's where we're at. So thanks for saying it in a way I couldn't. um yeah, no, I totally get it. And we have to do better. We can't do it again. That's only I'll leave on that is this right here is a great comment. And you know, just I feel the frustration. Let's internalize it and make sure we turn that into motivation. Okay. It's not easy. I guarantee it, Scott, 100% correct. And I just don't know how we hold her accountable. That's the whole problem. There's no accountability for any of this stuff. And so that's the horrible stuff is the people that like Shemaiah Fagan. Shemaiah Fagan was the reason that we have Measure 114 because she allowed to get on the ballot, right? And then she helped make sure it goes into effect 30 days upon passage. So December 8th of last year, just over a year ago. And that's, but there's been no accountability. She resigned in disgrace and they wrote some bad articles in the newspaper, but like why isn't she in cuffs? I mean, that's what I don't understand. And so, yeah, so it's a mess. I love you too, Willie. And we're in this together. Okay. And, we're going to stand shoulder to shoulder. We're going to win together or we're going to lose together. And to be honest with you, I'm sick of losing. And I know there's a lot of people like me out there that are sick of losing. But I can say that I did my part. I showed up on November 8th and I dropped that ballot in the ballot box. So I did my part. And so I guess my challenge would be to the people that didn't is to not do that again, please. It's really, really important is our voice is only read and counted if we get involved and we show up. And I know everybody says fraud. I get it. 150,000 votes nullify all the fraud. That's all I'll say. So you know. So other than that, have a Merry Christmas. I'm out of here. Thank you.